Loretta Ross.
Hey, y'all. Yeah. Now, those of you who know me know how hard this speech is going to be for me because I've promised not to curse. So I guess I better speak really slow because my mouth does not have a filter. And my tongue definitely outraces my brain. The first thing I want to say is to give honor and praise to what day this is. You're not only graduating, but I hope you remember for the rest of your life that you graduated on Malcolm X's birthday. You may not have known that. As an activist, it's one of those days I can never forget. You know, and so whenever May 19th comes around, either I'm protesting somewhere, celebrating Malcolm X, or now speaking at Hampshire. But those things are all related. You know, the way I've been in this movement for 50 years is that I've learned that if you're going to be a lifetime social justice activist, you're going to have to party as hard as you work. Okay? So don't let anybody tell you that doing good cannot be fun. Okay? A mentor of mine, Leonard Zeskin, once told me to lighten up because I was doing anti-fascist work, monitoring hate groups and stuff like that. And I was taking it so seriously. We're in Atlanta, the birth of the civil rights movement. People have died, you know, so, we got to do it all the time. And Lenny told me to lighten up. He said, Loretta, fighting Nazis should be fun. Yeah. He said, think about it. It's being a Nazi that sucks. And I've never forgotten that lesson. So I bring it to my teaching here at Hampshire. I'm really surprised that y'all voted for me to be commencement speaker, actually, because I'm a tough teacher. Now, I don't believe that learning should be a hazing, like a fraternity thing. So I don't understand people who punish people to teach them. I don't get that. If you got an S&M complex, get out of education. You'll have a lot more fun in a lot of other places. But at the same time, my job is to teach. The student's job is to engage with the materials. And I don't coddle. I don't think any of you think I'm a coddler. Actually, I'm not paid to do your emotional labor. So I never, held out a tit. Mammy is not in my job description. So I expect people to work hard and take charge of their own learning, just the way I hope you leave here and take charge of your life. Stuff will happen to you, but you choose how you respond to it. Otherwise, you'll let everybody else leave their dirty fingerprints on your story. That's your choice. You can't choose bad stuff happening. You can choose whether it defines you, whether your identity is the only way you get defined. Those are real choices. So I really think that people have to be responsible for the investment that others have made into their future. You just can't take that for granted. I actually said to a Div 2 student when I was advising him, I've never seen anybody agonize so much over their privilege. Really? You're upset because you've got too many choices? Only at Hampshire. So I do criticize the essays where every other sentence begins with the word I. And you know who you are. I didn't teach any of you graduating students, but y'all remember those essays, I'm sure. And I know we prepared you to argue with every family member, all right, who you claim aren't as woke as you are, but eventually they'll forgive you once you forgive yourself and get over yourself. Okay? I'm not sure if you understand this, but the purpose of family is not to be your political comrades. The purpose of family is to be there when nobody else will. That's their purpose. You know, I don't have anything in common with my family, but I know who's going to bury me. You know, and that's a macabre way of looking at it. But that's a God's honest truth. You need to know who's going to be in charge in that moment. So don't piss them off now. I'm just saying. When the announcement went out that I was going to be Hampshire's commencement speaker, all of a sudden I started hearing from all these friends that I knew in my nonprofit and business world that I didn't know had went to Hampshire. I was like, God, this school must be amazing. I mean, Vanessa Northington Gamble was one of the first ones to write me. She is a kick-butt professor in the history of medicine, the first graduating class. And she led this whole Tuskegee study that precipitated a presidential pardon and apology for all the harm the Tuskegee experiment had done. That's Hampshire, y'all. I mean, really. And then, of course, anybody who saw Black Panther knows that a Hampshire grad, Lupita Nyong'o, was in it. Wakanda forever. So, I know we're a bit kooky and eclectic and weird to anybody. Well, actually, it's weird to me, because I'm still in the process of writing evaluations. It'd be so much easier to just give you a grade. But one thing I've appreciated about the evaluation process is that I have to revisit very intimately each of my students and the body of work y'all have produced in order to write this evaluation. I can't not think about you. And that is labor intensive, but I understand what it produces. And so when you sign up, this is what you do. One of my students wrote this quote that I'm going to use. His name is Salem Frobos. Salem, I don't know if you're here, but I told him I'd be reading out his paper. This is the kind of education I came to Hampshire for. I joke with friends and family that Hampshire's fun policies like no tests, no majors, and no letter grades are not quite worth spending $50,000 on for a liberal arts degree. But I've learned what makes this experience worth it for me is gaining the kind of knowledge that has the potential to make myself, as an individual, a better person, as well as to have a positive influence on the world around me. Finding a stable career is not what drew me to Hampshire. It's the power that comes with an alternative education. My God, I couldn't say it better than this student said it back to us. And so that's what makes a degree from Hampshire priceless. We teach you the power of critical thinking, something that's being denied to many other students who are brainwashed into becoming robots in the system rather than the grit and the gears. I want y'all to be the grit. That's grit singular, not grits like in South, okay? But I also want you to understand how important that is right now, because we have to become the frontline defenders of democracy. We're in a real critical moment, people. There are those who believe that the only way they can hold on to their greedy grasp of power is to destroy our democratic system, to destroy reason, evidence, equality, law, decency, facts, and justice. Oh my God. Now, I don't want to get in trouble by naming names, but you know who I'm talking about. Your last commencement speaker who named names got trolled forever. Unfortunately, she wasn't used to dealing with trolls. I make a career out of it. And part of the problem is that I refuse to breathe in their toxic fumes. I don't give them any air. I don't give them any space. And let me just tell you something that's a real important life lesson. Don't spend any time hating people. The worst cut you can ever do to a person is ignore them. That works so much better than spending any energy hating them, because then they're sucking your energy out and investing it in them. Just saying. So anyway, if we're going to defend democracy, let me start talking about how do we do it. My favorite self-made cliche is that when a lot of different people think many different ideas and they move in the same direction, that's a movement. But when a lot of different people think one idea and they move in the same direction, that's a cult. And we are not going to be liberated by people with cult-like behaviors. Let's be clear. So, stop spending all your time trying to persuade everybody that you know to agree with you and believe what you believe. We are not organizing cults. We are organizing a human rights movement. That's a different task. And so, instead of getting people to agree with you, learn some calling in skills so you can get people to agree to be with you. That's a different task. Thinking whatever they need to think to join the human rights movement. Because all of us don't think working on women's rights is the only thing to work on, or working on queer rights is the only thing to work on, or working on the environment is the only thing to work on. I'm part of the women's rights wing of a human rights movement, working with an environmental and a trans justice wing of a human rights movement. So, stop acting like you're as woke as you think you are. And to the extent that you think somebody else ain't woke enough, proves how unwoke you actually are. So, I'm writing my next book called Calling in the Calling Out Culture. It's born out of my experience here in the Pioneer Valley. because we've given y'all radical politics without the radical skills to handle them. And so we've got to do better. And so in closing, I hope I've left a lasting footprint on this college. I've only been here 1 year. I'm actually a fake academic. I've been an activist for 50 years, and I've taught for 1, so I don't actually consider myself an academic, though I do like being called professor, which none of my students ever did. I said, please call me professor, and everybody went, Loretta. I guess this is Hampshire. Anyway, I want to say to you, and Sonia, you said it, never find an answer that makes you happy. Oh my God, that's the eternal quest for knowledge, right there. And that's so Hampshire. So you're graduating for Hampshire and will leave us, but I promise you, Hampshire will never leave your heart. Thank you.